All right, being shortly after 6:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Doherty? Mr. Gendron?
Here.
Mr. Gignac?
Here.
Mr. Hoey?
Here.
Mayor Kennedy?
Here.
Ms. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Dakota?
Here.
6 present, 1 absent.
The first order of business of the minutes for approval of minutes of the regularly scheduled school committee meeting of Wednesday, June 21st, 2017. Do we have a motion to approve? We have a motion to approve the minutes and place them on file by Mr. Dakota, second by Mr. Gendron. Discussion, all in favor, all opposed, so voted. And next is the approval of the minutes of the special school committee meeting of Wednesday, February 28th, 2017. Do we have a motion to approve by Mr. Hoey, seconded by Mr. Dakota. Discussion, all in favor, all opposed, so voted. Next is, we have permission to enter. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Mr. Gignac, seconded by Mr. Hoey. Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Doherty? Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin? Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent, approved.
Next, we have 2 memorials this evening. The first one is for Francis J. Bonnie Hovey Dakota. He is the father of Pamela Dakota of the Pine Arts School paraprofessional, father-in-law of Family Resource Center Coordinator John Dakota, and grandfather of Brittany Martin, Pawtuckaville Memorial School teacher, and also for Ethel McNamara, mother of Terry O'Neill, retired early childhood district support specialist. Next, we have motions. The first motion of the evening is by Mr. Gignac to request that the Finance Subcommittee meet to review the fiscal year 17 year-end financials, seconded by Mr. Hoey. Mr. Gignac.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The motion pretty much speaks for itself, but at the subcommittee meeting, I'd like to also review any proposed transfers to clean up the accounts, as well as a report on any projected surplus or anything like that. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening is by Ms. Martin requesting an update on the current plans to engage in acting head of school for fiscal year 2017-2018 school year, and a proposed timeline for launching a full-scale search for a permanent replacement that includes prospective recruiting firms specializing in this industry and any public sessions that will be part of the process. Seconded by Mr. Hoey. Ms. Martin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's my understanding at this point that we have an interim that has been selected. So in that sense, I would just like to recommend, as we do with our principals, that we invite the new acting head to come to the school committee meeting, whether it's perhaps in August when she's begun. And then secondly, just to kind of get an update on the timeline for moving forward. We have I think certainly an adequate amount of time to accomplish this, so just so we can get some benchmarks as to when we can expect things to be completed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, all opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening is by Ms. Martin requesting that the administration prepare a report for a joint meeting of the Personnel Subcommittee and Policy Subcommittee to review the use of screening committees during the hiring process and provide information on how their input serves as a factor in hiring decisions. Seconded by Mr. Hoy. Ms. Martin.
Thank you very much. Once again, just so we can review this, this is a standing policy, part of our personnel policies for the school department. They are available on the website. Just so we can get some updated information on the use of screening committees and how, again, taking that language right from our document, the input serves as a factor in our hiring decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Mr. Gendron.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is an excellent motion. We've been using screening committees for a lot of these positions that we've had open, and it's unclear exactly, it's unclear to me, what impact they have and how they're being used. So I think it would be, great to get a lot more information and have a policy, a set policy as to how we use them, how we assemble them, and that sort of thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The next motion is by Ms. Martin, requesting that the administration provide the explanation from the City Solicitor's Office for the delays during the FY 17-18 budget process. Information requested at the Lowell School Committee meeting on May 3rd and May 8th of 2017. Seconded by Ms. Doherty. Ms. Martin.
Thank you. Again, just reiterating this request that I've made during May to get this update of exactly why from the City Solicitor's Office as to why the budget process was delayed. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The next motion is by Ms. Martin, requesting an update of the staffing plans for principals and assistant principals for the FY 17 and FY 18 fiscal years. Approved by Lowell School Committee on April 5th, 2017. Motion seconded by Mr. Hoey. Ms. Martin.
Thank you. Just asking to receive this report. It was approved by this committee on April 5th and hoping to receive that document. Thank you.
Mr. Gignac.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quickly on the motion. Early in the week, we received a communication on the appointment of the interim head of school as well as an interim principal at the Robinson. Is that a true interim position or is that a permanent position?
That's an interim position.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. Next is a motion by Ms. Martin requesting that the administration provide the committee with an update on plans to accommodate the middle school bubble for the fiscal year 2017-2018 year, approved by the Lowell School Committee on April 5th, 2017, seconded by Mr. Hoey. Ms. Martin.
Thank you. Just again, asking for this information that was approved in a motion on April 5th. I am assuming that there is a well thought out and crafted response to this because September is coming. But if we could just get that information shared with us, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor? All opposed? So voted. The next motion is by Ms. Doherty. Request that the superintendent provide the committee with the Massachusetts Consortium of Innovative Education Assessment survey that was distributed to Lowell students and teachers in June of 2017, as well as the Hanover Research Survey that was used to collect parent and community data during the same time period. In addition to the actual surveys, please include information pertaining to the number of teachers, students, parents, and community members who responded, as well as the plans for assessing and disseminating the data. Seconded by Ms. Martin. Ms. Doherty.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to just add, I know that's already a long motion, but I originally had a motion about these surveys on April 5th, where I specifically asked for the school administration to recommend a survey for us. And now my understanding at the June meeting was they were already done. So now I'm looking to see the surveys that we've done and get an updated report on how many people have actually responded, because I think that it's important for this committee to be involved in the surveying process, which is why I had the original motion on April 5th, which I'm not going to read back the original motion, but you can find the wording that this follows. Because it's, as we're looking at school culture and climate as a factor in how we assess the quality of education that we're providing, it's not just about standard test scores, which I think is great that we're moving in that direction. I think it's important for us to really think about how we're going to determine that baseline. And I know there's been, through this consortium that Lowell's involved in, there's been a lot of work done behind the scenes, but this body has not been privy to that. So now I'm updating the April 5th motion with this motion, but still my intent is that we have an opportunity to look at these instruments and look at the plan. My understanding, based on the report we got at the June 21st meeting, was that these surveys were conducted over a 2-week period. From the early June till June 16th was the report. So I'm curious if that was enough time and what kind of we got as the beginning, but it's not the end of, obviously, the survey. And I don't know if the Deputy Superintendent would like to provide additional information, but that's really my intent with following up on that original motion.
Sure, I can follow up with Mr. Schlichtman, who is on that committee and who has been getting those surveys out. So I will do that this week, and you'll have some reports.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor, all those opposed, the motion passes. The next motion is by Ms. Doherty. Request that the superintendent provide the committee with a report of the August 16th school committee meeting that lists all of the open positions and their status. Seconded by Mr. Gendron. Ms. Doherty.
Thank you, Ron. I think it pretty much speaks for itself. We're looking to get, before we start school, that's our last summer meeting, just get an assessment. How many positions are there still out there that we're trying to fill? Obviously, when we start school, there's a lot of pressure to have a teacher for every classroom. So I'm looking for an update. Thank you.
Mr. Gignac.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just while Ms. McChrystal's here, I'm just curious as to how we're doing with the staffing of the new day school.
So, thank you. I am very excited to report we have a coordinator. We've hired 2 BCBAs, 6 teachers, and 16 paraprofessionals so far. So, and an OT. So we are almost fully staffed, and we've got materials coming in. We've started to set things up, and we're in discussions with families as well. So, yes, thank you all. Yep.
How many more do you have to fill?
So I have 2 more classrooms. So 2 teachers and 3 paras for each of those classrooms. And we still need a speech and language pathologist. And we're hiring a clerk as we speak. That position's being posted. So we're almost completely full.
Are you pretty confident that you'll be able to fill all those?
Yes. Yes, we are. We've had a wonderful turnout. We interviewed, I think, over 50 paraprofessionals. We've gotten a lot of teachers, internal and external candidates that we're really excited about. So, thank you.
Mr. Gignac, anything else? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? So voted. The next motion is a motion by Ms. Doherty. Request that the superintendent provide quarterly reports to the committee in executive session with names removed regarding all personnel issues that rise to the level of investigation. Second by Ms. Martin. Ms. Doherty.
Thank you, Your Honor. My colleagues might recognize this motion. I had put it on originally for June 21st, and there were some concerns about clarification with the language, so I did speak with the city solicitor to make sure that we are at all times respecting personnel privacy laws and issues. The reason I've got this motion on is, as you know, I used to be on the school committee years ago. We would have periodic reports of issues happening within HR, in executive session with names removed. And I think it's important for us, for this body, to be informed about, personnel issues that are happening across the district in terms of our ability to really serve the community in the role we need to serve. Are there policy issues that need to be changed, things like that, and really being able to assess how well we're doing as a district in this area, and that's my intention with this motion. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Mr. Gendron.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm a little concerned about having personnel issues that rise to the level of investigation, having a written document. I realize you're suggesting executive session, which I think is important. Is there, Ms. Durkin, do you find any, is there any issue with that? Is that going to be a problem?
So in preparation for this motion, the superintendent and all of us on the team did discuss this, and we are a bit concerned about the confidentiality issues, even if said staff member is brought forward without names. There may be ways of getting information. And similarly, how we handle student concerns, we never divulge, what specifically we've done, how we've responded, because of the confidentiality issues. So we are not in favor of this, and we'll probably have to have a conversation with the city solicitor relative to her thinking around it.
So I can understand the importance of us being aware of what's going on, but I also am sensitive to those confidentiality issues. Would it make sense to forward this to a subcommittee, maybe the personnel subcommittee, to understand those concerns and discuss it further?
I would be open to forwarding it to the city solicitor's office for any kind of clarification. I mean, why have the subcommittee meet if there's concerns and you're looking for guidance from the administration? I know the council received similar kinds of information in executive session, let's say with the concern around police brutality or something like that. So it's not, and as I said, we did it before. I'm just looking to get more transparency and have us have more information. But we could add an amendment that says we'll forward it to the city solicitor's office with some guidelines. Does that make more sense than, I don't think it makes sense to go to personnel subcommittee if we have concerns about how to approach the way to divulge the information. I'm open to other people's thoughts.
Can I, the personnel subcommittee might be a suitable forum for there to be a discussion with the superintendent to see if there's some middle ground on this motion. The city council in general only has executive session for matters that are, if there's litigation involved, but not as just a regular course. In other words, if there's some investigation or something going on, the city council wouldn't necessarily be informed about that. And certainly wouldn't as a group unless there was a lawsuit or some sort of legal action. Mr. General.
I mean, I have concerns about the confidentiality of this type of information, even if names are redacted, even if we're in an executive session. Sometimes that information gets out, and sometimes names can be derived based on the circumstances of the document. So, I mean, I'm open to having a discussion on it further than what we can discuss here tonight. That's why I suggested maybe we could send it to a subcommittee and air out all the concerns and discuss it. So I'd like to make the motion that we refer to the personnel subcommittee, because that seems to be the most appropriate committee that we have.
Okay, we have a substitute motion to refer this to the personnel subcommittee, seconded by Mr. Hoey. Discussion on the substitute motion. Ms. Martin.
Thank you. I think referring it to the subcommittee is fine. I'd actually encourage the administration that we can actually have the city solicitor in attendance, and then we can maybe really get somewhere. My only other thing would be, I know periodically, to Ms. Doherty's point, we get specific information with names when there is a grievance, when that information is coming to us. It does come in an executive session, and as a body, we are legally bound not to reveal it. We're all grown-ups. We have to be held accountable for what we do. So, I think we can definitely have the conversation about it to make sure that it does meet, all the legal criteria. And then, again, by having the city solicitor there, hopefully we'll be able to, come to a quick resolution so that we can be clear about what we're looking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? On the substitute motion to refer this to the personnel subcommittee? All in favor of the motion? All opposed? So voted. Next, under reports of the superintendent, the first item is the list of eligible teachers. Do we have any discussion regarding the list of eligible teachers? Hearing none. Next is the personnel report. Any discussion? Next is home education we'll have to take out because that requires a roll call, but, and so do the other three. So personnel and list of eligible teachers. Chair would entertain a motion to accept those reports and place them on file by Ms. Martin, second by Mr. Hoey. Discussion, all in favor, all opposed, so voted. Next, under home education, do we have a motion to approve the request? By Ms. Martin, second by Mr. Hoey. Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
Next is the pregnant students policy revisions. Do we have any discussion regarding that? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to approve by Mr. Hoey, second by Mr. Gignac. Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
Next is the Laura Lee Therapeutic Day School proposed time change. Any discussion? Ms. Martin?
If I could just ask the administration to present, kind of just for anyone who's watching, the thought process behind this.
Yes, I have Jen McChrystal here with the permission of the mayor and the city. The school committee, she could share with you the thought process around this, is to give more time with students.
I thank you all. Eric Oxford, who's the coordinator of the Laura Lee, was hoping to be here tonight, but he had a family emergency. The staff at the Laura Lee has worked very diligently to continue to not only address the students that are their social behavioral needs, but also their academic needs. And in the report that he submitted through Deputy Superintendent Durkin, he outlines a lot of the gains the students have made. In the past, the Laura Lee released an hour early on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which allowed the teachers to have common planning time and prep time. But because now we've been able to have art, music, and gym over at the Laura Lee, and the way that they are structuring some of their time to make sure students get direct reading skills and some more specific social emotional support, we're able to make the prep times happen during the day. So what we are asking is to increase the hours for the students. There's no additional time for the staff, and the staff would still receive all of their contractual prep time. It's just having the students stay till 2 o'clock every day, which for students and families, one, it's 3 more hours in the week that the students can be receiving services. And two, for the families, for kiddos who need to go to after-school programs, it makes it a lot easier because after-school programs are beginning at 2. When they were leaving at 1, it made it more challenging for them to get into after-school programs. So we really believe that this is in the best interest of the students, the teachers, and the families of Lowell, and that's why we're making this request to have the kids go 3 extra hours.
Ms. Martin?
Thank you very much. I just kind of wanted to be able to share that. I mean, I think that is absolutely a move in the right direction. Being able to bring on those, the allied professionals so that we can better structure that day is absolutely a win for students and families. So I just wanted to have a chance to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Gendron.
A quick question. There are no union issues with this, or no, we're not adding any time to anybody's day?
Nope, we are not adding any time to any of the teachers' day. They'll still be able to receive all their contractual prep time and everything else. Okay. So the teachers worked until the end. The teachers always stayed. The kids just left early. So this is just having the kids stay later. We're not changing the teachers' time at all.
But won't the teachers need to be with the students during those hours?
So we've added art, music, and gym. They come over and see the students, which allows them to get their prep time during the day, because we've added additional staff
I see.
from other places. And they are structuring it so there's this time where they can do small group lessons, so one teacher can have a student, or maybe they're doing a group with the social worker, which then allows that teacher to have their prep, and they're able to flexibly group the kids so the kids get more individualized instruction and the teachers still get their prep time.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you.
Mr. Gendron.
Yeah, not related to this issue. I just want to bring this up again because I don't know if anybody else is having the same problem, but I can't get to the documents that are in the agenda through the links that are tied to the Dropbox because I don't know, it's an internet situation, I think, here. And I really feel like, I mean, having looked at all these documents prior to the meeting, but it's nice to be able to refer to them during the meeting. So if we can't make that work, then I think we need to get hard copies of all these documents on our desks for meeting nights, unless we can find a way to get this to work. When we used to download all the materials into the Dropbox, it was a breeze, because you could download those Dropbox, you could download them into the onto your device on your own internet, and then you had them when you came here. But now, since they're all linked to items that need to be accessed across the internet, you can't get them, or at least I can't get them. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Darden.
Can I just ask for clarification, is that everyone that is unable to access it? So it's across the board? Okay, thank you.
If you use the city's website rather than the school department, it seems to work better for me, because you can download the full packet rather than the links on this, but it's on the city's website, not on ours.
Should be able to make that on the school department, work on the school department website too,
We have a tech
couldn't we?
department, yeah.
But I've been able to do it just from if I use the Wi-Fi here, the public Wi-Fi, I've been able to get to from the school department thing, so.
Returning to the agenda.
I'm no tech whiz, so it's.
Ms. Doherty.
I would move to approve the proposed time change for the Laura Lee Therapeutic.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, seconded by Mr. Dakota. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey? Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
Next, under new business. We have the approval of an educational research request. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion approved by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Mr. Gendron. Discussion? Ms. Durkin, did you want to make a presentation on this, or?
Sure. I also have representatives with me from the Early Childhood Department and also the state. So they're here, so it might be nice for them to just give you an overview. This is relative to our preschool expansion grant. That's our full year, full day program that we work in collaboration with Little Sprouts and Community Teamwork, and we are the lead agency on that grant. So this is, as part of that grant, it's a requirement to have this research done, but there's an extension. So if you'd like to speak to it briefly.
Thank you very much for having me and entertaining this proposal. So we, as part of our evaluation of the preschool expansion grant, we are doing an impact evaluation of the pre-K classrooms that we've been funding and a cost study. We also have a secondary data longitudinal follow-up of the students. So we are giving them all SACIDs. We have the ability to track students into elementary school. And obviously, I think that that's a really important piece of the children's experience to understand. What we'd like to do is take advantage of the opportunity that presents itself by our research relationship with Lowell Public Schools, as well as 4 other districts, and the relationship we have with App Associates, who is a well-known research firm that's been conducting the work, to apply for additional funding to do a deeper dive into the follow-up. We don't have the ability to understand students' experiences as they continue on, which is a key piece in understanding what's happening to students and how their development is continuing. It's certainly a question that comes up a lot in the pre-K literature. And there are some studies that show that impacts of pre-K continue on, and there are other studies that show them fading out. There are also some older studies that have shown a sleeper effect. So while the immediate academic impacts have faded out, down the road you see impacts on adult outcomes. So understanding what happens to children and how different developmental domains continue on into elementary school is a very important piece. So that's something that we would like to pursue if we can, and what we're looking for is support from Lowell Public Schools for any proposal. We're looking right now at Institute of Education Sciences has a competition coming up soon. There are other organizations that could potentially support this as well. So support in putting those research proposals forward, because obviously any funder would want to know that we actually do have access to the classrooms that we were saying we would be going into if we were to do the research. But I'm happy to answer any questions as well that you have.
Any questions? Ms. Durkin?
Just a follow-up, I think the fact that the state is looking to Lowell to conduct this research is a testament to the staff who have worked diligently amongst these three agencies to make sure that our children are getting quality education. So I think it's kudos, and we can learn a lot about how we support children and how do we move forward.
Any further discussion? Thank you. Roll call?
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin? Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 absent, approved.
Next, we need a vote to accept a grant award of $3,000 to the Bridge Program from the Nathaniel and Elizabeth P. Stevens Foundation. Motion approved by Ms. Doherty, second by Mr. Dakota. Discussion, roll call.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
Next, under convention and conference requests, we have 2 requests. If there's no objection, we'll just bundle them both together. Do we have a motion to approve both requests? Motion by Mr. Hoey to approve, second by Mr. Dakota. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gendron?
Yes.
Mr. Gignac? Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
And that concludes the agenda for this evening. Do we have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Martin? I'm sorry, Ms. Martin.
Actually, if I could, I was just hoping that we could get maybe an introduction to the piece that was given to us this evening. An opportunity to talk about that.
A clarification, what
The
piece?
Defining Diversity, Students Exploring Diversity and Equity in America, Essays by Students of Lowell High School Seminar on American Diversity. It's a pretty impressive looking piece. I was hoping it'd be great to hear about how it came about.
So actually, Minerva gave those to me to give out to the committee. Mr. Martin had them dropped off at her office.
Okay.
So we can get some more information
that'd
for
be
you for the next meeting.
My night
I
to
will be
show off,
reading.
but okay, that would be great.
Thank you.
The
Okay.
book is by students, right?
Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Martin, second by Mr. Hoey. Discussion. All in favor, all opposed? Stand adjourned.
How are you?